This free website allows you to check data for properties in a suburb or even for your neighbor. Let me show you how. First, we enter the website profit.com.au and then we'll arrive at this page. On this page, you'll find most of the councils in Australia. Let's just pick one as an example, Monash. After clicking, you'll see several branches. Let's go through them one by one. The red community section shows you comprehensive numbers, such as population and land population density. If you click on council, you can see data at the district level. For example, here is Glen Waverley. If I click on it, I can access the data for Glen Waverley. On the left, there are many more detailed options you can explore. The second section is the social atlas, which provides even more data, not only at the district level, but it can even go down to smaller areas. You can actually look up your own neighborhood. For example, if I zoom in a bit, Glen Waverley is further divided, and you can clearly see that this particular area has a higher population density than the one above. And it's not just population density. On the side, you can also select options like age, family, ethnicity, and one of the data points I often look at is median household income. What's interesting is that Ashwood, Hill and these areas have relatively high median incomes, but the core areas have very low household incomes. Think about why that is. I won't say more. You can also see data like property ownership, unemployment rates, and so on. Moving on, this page shows population forecasts. You can see that from 2025 to 2041, there will be a 17% population increase. You can even look up specific areas. For example, Glenwood has an 18% increase, Mount Waverley has 13%, and another area has 11%. Is Glen Waverley driving the overall growth? Now, what's even crazier, Oakley and Oakley South are both projected to have a 40% increase. Similarly, we can examine more detailed data. On the left, you can select more options, like whether families with children are growing more or if single-person households are increasing. But just looking at population isn't enough. We also need to see how many houses there are. Remember our table format? If population increases by 18%, but housing increases by 25%, doesn't that mean more houses than people? And what about Oakley? It looked great just now with a 40% population increase, but housing there is also increasing by 69%. So you have to look at these numbers together and even more closely. You can explore this on your own. The fourth point is economic data. Here, GRP is the same as GDP. You can see, with more people, are there more jobs? You can also see the distribution of the working population at a glance, as well as details like what the DP is and so on. The last one, which is also Jan's favorite, is the housing monitor, which is related to housing. However, not every council provides this data. For example, Monash here does not have it, but we do have information for Frankston. You can see the median price, how many people need affordable housing, and even such detailed data. You can also see things like how many houses were sold in 11 months, and so on. This lets you see the demand for housing. Look, every year there is steady growth, and you can also see the housing supply. Compared to the whole of Melbourne, Frankston's detached houses are above Melbourne's average, but its popularity is below Melbourne's. As for the overall market, there are almost no high-density residences, which is what that implies. Frankston is still in an undeveloped stage. We can also look at who lives in what kind of house.